We rolled the innovation project out to our first class, which is the largest class, visual communication. And for the first pass, I'm really pleased with how that turned out. So what we did is we were able to purchase 360-degree video cameras and headsets so that the students could create content and share that with the students at our partner university in China. And then we could receive content from the students at the university in China for our Cornell students to watch on their headsets. So the students had this experience of getting to kind of virtually visit each other's campus and comment on that. What I like about this project is that we were able to test the procedure of getting the equipment to the students through the manufacturing, which went very well, I think, especially considering the number of students that we were pulling through and the learning curve for how we could give them all access to the equipment. And I'm also very pleased at how we were able to integrate this new course module into the bigger picture of what we teach and learn in visual communication. So in addition to students learning how to create visual content using these new media, we were also able to integrate the intercultural communication component of the course into this lesson, so students could reflect on the content that they created and the content that the students from the other university created, and we could bring that into our discussion of cultural differences in visual communication. Our innovation idea has, I think, impacted student learning in 3 domains. Helped them learn how to use 360-degree video cameras, which is something that they've been asking for since I started teaching the class, more video experience. And it also really brought to life something that we teach in visual communication, which is that that people can approach totally unfamiliar media and have kind of a naive reaction to it, but also be informed by principles that we've learned from earlier platforms like photography and film. The other ways that it impacted student learning is I think it really brought the idea of cultural differences in visual communication to life, because they weren't just looking at images in a textbook or screenshots that were used in experiments. They were reflecting on the content that they made and comparing that to content that was made by other students in another country. And the third thing that I think was great in terms of teaching how we draw these conclusions about visual communication. We talk a lot about doing experiments and the findings from those experiments being taught in class. And in this case, we were able to use data from their own responses to discuss how we draw conclusions in social science and to actually look at their data to understand how their responses turn into a visual presentation of differences between groups.